everybody, welcome to the Daily Space Weather. I'm your host Dan, aka smAsho. We're looking at the colorized magnetogram to see some magnetic activity and zero sunspots. We'll get to an in-depth analysis of it and a lot more. Today's Daily Space Weather will be about digitally delusional babes. Digitally delusional dames, that is. A volcanic uptick, Satan, Ron Paul, feel better, and more, including solar flares, cosmic rays, and lots of other interesting stuff. Let's go to some HelioViewer movies. Here's this active region in the southeast. I don't believe it was a sunspot when I did show prep, but you never know when the magnetic environment can suddenly change with no warning. Anyway, there it is in 304 angstroms. Here's the same region in 171 angstroms. A little bit of activity there, nothing to write home about. And here's the larger active region there in the northeast. This is 131 angstroms, which is one of the ionized emission spectral states of iron. And it is a crowd favorite. This one does take 10 images per minute instead of only 2. This one in 94 angstroms. Give you a little bit higher resolution, and you can see that solar flare happening. I believe it was right around here. Bring that back, right about there. That's likely when and where that solar flare happened. It was a C class. We'll show you the graph in a minute. Here's a full disk view from the SDO in 304 angstroms. Lots of filamentary activity chasing that active region in the northeast, and a little bit of filamentary activity in the southeast and northwest as well. Here's that region in 171 angstroms. And let's move on to some data. And allow me to reappear. We are streaming live to Twitch, by the way, if you haven't checked us out over there. Twitch.tv/smAsho. The radio flux of the 10.7 centimeter variety still at, it's actually come down to 73. I believe it was 74 yesterday. There's the couple year graph of the radio flux progression. We like to see the smooth monthly values over 70. And the KP index, we actually just came out of mild geomagnetic storm conditions there. We were up to a KP of 5. Currently in geomagnetic unrest, KP 4. Caused by an elevated solar wind speed. And there you can see that solar flare kicked off just after midnight. Of the low C-class variety, like a C1. There you go, coming in at about 40 minutes after midnight universal time. We don't see any big proton strikes, no surprises there. And today I brought up a different real-time solar wind image. I brought up the 1-year chart. So you see we're getting into these areas of much larger swings here, and that's what you expect to see during the progression of a new solar cycle. And you can see we did reach all the way up to about 700 kilometers per second for the solar wind speed. Notice how low the solar wind density got back here in January. And let's bring up the 1-day chart, get rid of this 1-year chart. Bear with me again, we are streaming live. And just allow it to redraw, there we go. So we see some wild swings here in the BTBZ as that coronal hole wind stream comes in once again. We're just coming off the highs here of around 550 kilometers per second. We've had a steady solar wind density for the past couple of days, so all of the geomagnetic unrest and sort of fluctuations that you've been seeing have been based on the solar wind speed over the past couple days. Here I'll show you the 3-day chart. And just give it a moment to load. There's the 3-day chart, and you can see quite a consistent solar wind density and some variations in the speed, as well as the magnetism, of course. And these BTBZ flips here, these are pretty serious. We have quite a big convergence here, and the BT is actually all the way up to 8 right now, and the BZ is at -1, so we're getting a fairly uniform application of magnetic field from both polar fields, the north and the south, producing a significant BT there at +8. So anyway, current solar wind speed has come down off its highs to 526 kilometers a second, which is making for some high pressure in the magnetosphere. No real surprises there. And we'll let that play through as it refreshed its 4 hours of data. And what's the time? It's time to have RC Cola. Yes. Yes. RC Cola. Owned by Dr. Pepper, by the way, from Plano, Texas. Were you aware? Here are the ground magnetic perturbations. Now that we've looked at 4 hours of the magnetosphere, let's look at the ground level magnetic perturbations during this polar excursion. Where were you during the polar excursion? And we see some significant magnetism there, possibly sparking some auroras, but we're really not going to look today because there is way too much stuff to cover. Next thing we're going to look at is the GOES magnetometer, and there's the data on that. And you can see that is all over the place there. Check out these wild swings here. Just before midnight local time for the GOES 16. If you're wondering where it measures that, it measures it at the ionosphere layer. We'll show you a diagram. Next we're going to look at cosmic rays. Here's the Apatity neutron monitor. And it's coming down off its recent highs here. A slight uptick there overall over the past 30 days. Here's Barentsburg, a slight downtick over the past 30 days. Those are two cosmic ray observatories very far north. Let's go a little farther south here to Athens, as you've got higher air pressure there. And there's the last 30 days at Athens, quite flat. Next we'll check out Mexico City, going even farther south. Small uptick there, similar to Apatity. And lastly, we'll look at Oulu and one Antarctican monitor. There's Oulu, Finland, flat over the past 30 days. And there's DOMC Antarctica, also flat over the past 30. Next, looking at the magnetic environment. This is part of the National Sunspot Observatory, if you were wondering. It's the Gong 2 top view ecliptic plane field plot data. Probably one of the most, if not the most important data set that you could possibly use for solar forecasting, in my opinion. And there's a large area of dense plasma right here, and we could snap across into the South Pole current sheet at any moment. This data is fairly current at 1 hour and 31 minutes old. Keep in mind that environment can suddenly change. And you see some significant changes going on here in the B field, shown in blue. This is the line of sight field plot. A different view of essentially the same data set. And it's derived from ground-based magnetometers as well as magnetometers on stereo A and stereo B. So we got two powerful solar polar fields kicking up right now, and that's a good thing. Here is the coronal magnetic field plot, showing you potential field force lines, and showing you closed potential field force lines in black, coronal hole field force lines in purple, and closed field force lines in pink. And welcome to another edition of the Smash Lights, where I talk about anything I want. And This one, I guess it should be good. I think you should probably like it. First of all, feel better, Ron Paul. Ron Paul had an apparent stroke while doing a video yesterday on the Ron Paul Liberty Report. I won't show it, but feel better, Ron Paul. Next, let's talk about a corrupt official. Now, this is Mayor Jim Kenney, mayor of Philadelphia. This gentleman here is the reason why I don't enter Philadelphia. I've boycotted the city. I will not enter Philadelphia until this guy is no longer mayor, because he's created a sanctuary city environment where it's a sanctuary for everybody except for law-abiding, tax-paying citizens. Let's talk about non-law-abiding, tax-paying citizens. It's a deep stater, yes, yes. Christian Dunbar, former Philly city treasurer, has been fired and faces the possibility of up to 45 years in prison. Yes, yes, yes. Because of embezzlement and sham marriages to gain citizenship and so on. Here is a deep stater who Mayor Jim Kenney has appointed. So this is a prime example of corrupt officials in charge of very important aspects. And of course, Jim Kenney was quick to try to cover his own butt by firing Mr. Dunbar and opening an investigation. Now he's suggesting, Jim Kenney's suggesting that he's asked Inspector General Alexander DeSantis to perform a thorough review of the city treasurer's office. Allegedly, the criminal complaint does not involve Dunbar's work with the city of Philadelphia. The city of Philadelphia, yes. So anyway, if you want to read about that, it's on Zero Hedge. Let's talk about Satanism. Jamie Smith. Jamie Smith has divided to be decided. A church divided against itself cannot stand. And apparently, the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, has caused this author to decide to convert to Satanism. I'm a 40-something attorney and mother who lives in a quiet neighborhood with a yard and garage full of scooters and soccer balls. I am not the type of person who would normally consider becoming a Satanist, but these are not normal times. This article from the HuffPo. Shout out to the Glenn Beck Show for citing this one yesterday. Oh, man. Like so many other women in the U.S., when I learned of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's passing, my first reaction was not grief, but fear. I fear that American citizens are inching closer to living in a theocracy or dictatorship, and that the checks meant to prevent this from happening are close to eroding beyond repair. Oh, knows. Now, members of the Satanic Temple do not believe in the supernatural or superstition, the same way Unitarians and some Jews do not believe in God. Satanic temper members. They do not worship Satan, and most are atheists. They're not affiliated in any way with the Church of Satan. Instead, the Satanic Temple uses the devil as a symbol of rebellion. Rebellion! It's a Black Lives Matter ready deity, but they don't believe in souls and things. So the Satanic Temple has a code that their members believe in deeply and use to guide their lives. These 7 fundamental tenets include that one should strive to act with compassion and empathy toward all creatures in accordance with reason. Boy, that sounds really revolutionary, doesn't it? Reading through the 7 tenets, I was struck by how they aligned with the unwritten code I had used to try to guide my own life for several years. I realized, happy, that these were my people, and that I had been a Satanist for several years without even knowing it. Brilliant, Jamie Smith! You, madam, I salute you, but perhaps not in this fashion. And here ends Actually, here continues another episode of the Smashlights, where I may have my tabs out of order, but it's up to you to discover what it is I'm talking about. If you haven't checked us out on YouTube, you may be watching on YouTube. Who knows? You could be watching on BitChute or Twitch. Please press like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Press the notification bell. And send Eric Schmidt an email that our channel exists. If you haven't been to smAsho.org, you can see all of our social media links and so on, as well as links to our stores and our affiliate link. Perhaps consider picking up a Smasher Price, My First Pandemic shirt. Or perhaps you'd like to purchase a Google is a Scam, Not a Verb store, the featured shirt. Were you aware? I only have it in black and white because it's in black and white, folks. Google is a scam, not a verb. Maybe you follow me on Instagram. It's instagram.com/smashomash. And if you don't follow me there, you may not see posts like this, as we've got exclusives. Some of them are even about politics. Hey, Tom Wolfe.
Suck it, Tom Wolfe, suck.
We're also on Twitter and so on. You can see all those links at smashamash.org. I recommend you get a Minds.com account. Yes, Minds. It's the future of social media. It's unlike Facebook in practically every way. It's much more functional, and it doesn't feature ridiculous censorship, shadow banning, etc. You won't be deplatformed. You won't be depersoned at Minds.com. We're also on BitChute, and I recommend if you're a content creator or a consumer that you branch out into BitChute, because there's all kinds of content over there that cannot be viewed on places like YouTube. So again, twitch.tv/smashamash is where I typically make these videos live. And here comes another cosmology segment. It's going to be short. What is that? What is that? Is it? What's going on? What is happening? What is this I spy? Oh my God. It's Enceladus. And there's a great interactive viewer you can access here on SciTech Daily. Check out these tiger stripes. What's going on with that? Well, it's thermal imagery of Enceladus' south geographic pole. How come it has those hot spots? Now, it has an underwater liquid water ocean, apparently, as the surface is largely made out of extremely pure water ice. Enceladus, one of the more interesting objects in the solar system, and another spot where there could indeed be life. The question is, why is it so hot at the pole? And how did those features do that? Let's talk COVID. Now, I'm scared and spooked. Every time, I don't know what I'm going to dress up as this Halloween. Maybe I'll just dress up as an old guy who coughs a lot. Maybe that'll be scary and spooky. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to get myself, maybe I'll make a wig like this, a giant rotating mated Chad COVID wig. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'll do. But whatever I do, it'll be very scary and spooky. It's going to be a scary, spooky October. And we're going to actually do fundraisers, by the way. Let's talk about the first cat infected with SARS-CoV-2 in Spain, including necropsy findings. Oh, noes. Are you scared and spooked? Well, you shouldn't be. This is ridiculous. The 4-year-old cat Negrito, turns out that he had cardiomyopathy. And this cat didn't die of COVID. So for some reason, they got this article here about a case of a cat which died while having COVID, but didn't die of COVID, as the symptoms that the cat had nothing to do with COVID. So have you noticed some fear-mongering? Have you noticed fear-mongering? Is fear-mongering the new normal? Well, we're not going to do it. One thing I'm going to do, I'm going to wear this shirt. It says, "I survived a global pandemic so far." It's also got our website, smashomash.org, on there. So maybe pick one of those up. This one's in purple, as it's our team colors. What a joke. Oh my God, I'm so scared and spooked that I've decided to start an affiliate link. We've dipped our tippy toe. Give Smash staff a raise by buying something from our affiliate. It's at smashomash.com/affiliates. You can link to it from smashomash.org, etc. And we've got a bunch of items there. The first thing we put up was a pulse oximeter and a bunch more stuff. Thanks everybody who picked up stuff from our affiliate links. And we'll be adding a bunch of new stuff. There's my bio bug out bag, for instance. There's some shampoo and conditioner so your hair can smell perfectly if Joe Biden should be standing behind you at some point. And today's featured object is the Go Wise. The Go Wise programmable air fryer. Yes, now we have one of these. And I can vouch that it's fantastic. And look for recipes coming soon. We do actually have a playlist with some recipes in it. I don't think we have recipes yet for the air fryer, but it's coming. It's coming. Thanks to our patrons, the true source of funding for the content. Consider becoming a patron if you haven't. The site is patreon.com/smashomash. By the way, thanks, Sir Giddy. I appreciate your kind words. Sir Giddy says, how do you not have thousands of viewers? It is early, but it's an awesome show with valuable info. Thanks you. Cheers. Yeah, we appreciate that. It probably has to do with things like my stance on Google censorship, Facebook censorship. I've been speaking truth to big tech certainly since December of 2018. So that's like that's a thing. But anyway. Also, we're on some cutting-edge science stuff. That's it's making some people not happy with their ossified beliefs. Anyway, consider becoming a patron. Patreon.com/smashomash. Thanks to our patrons, we've got 9 tiers over there. So get involved. Head to smashomash.org. Visit all the links there and so on. Check us out on social media, and we'll be putting up more and more exclusive content the more support we get, because I'll quit my job and I'll do this full time. By the way, we've noticed Cygnus X3 has not only come out of its quiescent state here, it's more of a baseline state now. Cygnus X3, known as Deneb, the brightest star in the constellation Cygnus, and the most intrinsically luminous object visible from our solar system in the whole galaxy, is actually this massive X-ray binary. And it's kind of important as to mythology. We've got a whole section of it about it in our cosmology thread at smashomash.com/forum. And one thing I notice here too, it looks like there's something that could be going on with the daily periodicity. And if we see a disruption in the 4.8-hour periodicity of this object, that's very serious. And I'm not going to get into it, but this is space weather, and it's daily, so we've covered it. By the way, this is data from the Neil Gorell Swift Observatory. And there are thousands of objects that are monitored constantly. So this one, we've got 1,026 objects there. You can find all your favorites. Perhaps you're into, I don't know, Sagittarius A star. There are the transients from the core of the Milky Way galaxy. And again, at the forum, we did have some technical difficulties. So don't mind that. We'll get it deleted very quickly, as I've now started messing with it myself. And I'm pretty quick when it comes to doing boring data entry style stuff. And we take it as a compliment when we get botted, when we get shadow banned and botted and so on. So anyway, we got a major attack where we had thousands of bogus posts showing up on the page. So go over there and get involved. You can still find the posts. If you find one that's spammed, just go to the end of the, see this one, the Earth and Geophysics forum. Check it out. There's about, I don't know, there's probably still 20 pages. So you see all these things. These are selling fake degrees out of China, yes. Selling fake degrees, largely from accredited American universities out of China. Very legit. So there you can see all that nonsense. If you want to see the real post and you see a spam topic there, just go to the end, and we'll have this handled by today. Probably it'll be all fixed up. Again, you can visit all our links at smashomash.org. The forum is linkable right there on the homepage. And we're not quite done with Smash Lights yet. We've got one more thing to say. Thanks to everybody who's been purchasing merch. Don't forget to make Earth not suck again. It's up to you. And here ends another episode of the Smash Lights. Typically a part of the daily space weather, but sometimes not. So you got to check the playlist, and there's exclusive content all over the place. Let's get back to data. There's a one-year chart of the relative physical electron flux, and we're at quite high levels again. We made it well into warning territory yesterday. We've got some charging hazards here over places like Mexico and even Florida there. If you're on a spaceship in those areas, you may experience some surface charging. We hope you're well grounded. We hope your satellites are well grounded if they're in those areas. And we're seeing a forecast for even higher levels here. So that's essentially a forecast for the solar wind speed to diminish as well. So expect to see the solar wind speed leveling off in the next 2 days, probably over the next 24 hours. And indeed, some even higher levels of electron flux forecasted there. I won't argue with that one. You can see we got well into warning levels yesterday, starting around 10:30 Universal Time. Here's a visualization of the electron content. And you should be seeing significant errors if you're around the equator at noon. We made it up to about 36 there. You can see a little gold area forms right here. Right there. And that is over the South Pacific. In any case, here's one slice of the atmosphere. It's the ionosphere layer all by itself. And it is doing some charge up, charge down behaviors there. Here's the latest image, making it all the way up to 14 megahertz there for a minute, I could see. I'll let that play through a second time for you. And we used to only show 6 hours of this. Now we're showing a full day. So we try to leave the timestamps on screen when possible. And we open a lot of tabs, so you don't have to. If somebody did these videos, I would watch them instead of making them. By the way, if you're wondering what the ionosphere is, it's the outer portion of, it's the area above the mesosphere. It sort of overlaps the mesosphere a little bit at times, and around this area is where the GOES 16 does its measurements, and that's where your GPS satellites are located also. All your weather happens way down here in the troposphere. This is where stars and planets are located, or at least one star, as well as some planetoids and planetesimals and asteroids, or whatever they happen to be called today. There's where things will be in a week. Looks like it's, yeah, full moon appears to be on the 1st, or maybe the 2nd. Where were you when Deneb set? Anyway, there's where Deneb's located, by the way. And it just circles Polaris all summer, and then finally in the fall it sets in the northern hemisphere. How about them apples? We're going to look at earthquakes next. Here's the past 24. I don't see anything over a 6 magnitude. Here's a 5.1 magnitude at depth at Japan. It's at 118.8 kilometers. Deep quake in Indonesia. Deep quake in the Banda Sea. Deep quake in Vanuatu. Deep quake in Afghanistan. So it's a deep quake incident, folks. That's a lot of deep quakes. Northern Mariana Islands, around the deepest part of the entire Pacific Ocean, the entire ocean period. And let's check volcanoes at volcanodiscovery.com. Karimsky, back on the list, on the Kamchatka Peninsula, producing a 6,000-foot ash plume. Suwanose-jima, same deal there, 6,000 ash plume out in the Ryukyu Islands of Japan. I think that's Japan. Mount Ibu exploding, flight level 070, 7,000 feet. Semaru exploding, flight level 130, 13,000 feet. Nevado del Ruiz, 19,000 foot plume. Sangay, 19,000-foot plume. Revenador exploding, 16,000-foot plume. And Sabancaya exploding, 27,000-foot plume. Please leave a comment if you think you understand the difference between human carbon dioxide emissions, oceanic carbon dioxide emissions, and volcanic carbon dioxide emissions. Nobody knows what the outputs are. We know the human inputs for carbon dioxide output, but we don't even know what the outputs are. Isn't that sad? Don't be arrogant, folks. Mankind doesn't control the weather or the climate. Here is the weather.gov map, and what do we got? We got a storm warning at southern Alaska. Perhaps a forecast for earthquakes as well. Next, looking at the jet streams, here are the jet streams of the eastern world. Here are the jet streams of the western world. This will give you a quick insight if you know your meteorology. And check out this extreme bend here in the eastern Atlantic. Oh, we've got some somewhat backward jet stream flow there over the South Atlantic as well. How is the life of the stream doing? And we are good. Oh my God, we're not even on Skype. Sir Giddy says, have you seen the Quake map that was hacked with sex shop links? I have not seen that Quake map, and I'm glad I didn't accidentally display it and get myself banned. Next, let's do some more meteorology stuff. Shout out to our African and European viewers. Here is your water vapor scenario. Shout out to our Far Eastern viewers. Here's the Far East and Oceania's water vapor scenario. Here's the Americas water vapor situation. Here are the pressure cells, and we've left the pressure ISO lines in here. We're going to advance this into the GFS forecast. Here's today. There's midnight. And there's where things will be at 1 o'clock my time. We're located in Lehigh Valley, eastern Pennsylvania, the United States. By the way, my agenda was made in the U.S. and Joe Biden's agenda was made in China. Okay? China. 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 China, 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 China. Oh my God, there's thunder in Romania. Oh my God. Please leave a comment if you're a vampire who's stoked about the lightning, as it helps your vampirish motif to look cool. U.S. Doppler radar map showing some pretty heavy thunderstorms off of North Carolina. It looks like a great day to be surfing on the Outer Banks. Give it about an hour, and you should have some prime conditions. Let's go to the NASA GOES interactive weather satellites to look at the U.S. water vapor map. And oh yeah, that is what you want to see. I don't know if there's an onshore wind or not, but hey. I mean, I'm sorry, an offshore wind. A wind blowing from the shore to the ocean. That's what you want. Makes for steeper waves, folks. We've got some interesting situations there over the Rockies. There's a bit of an atmospheric river up there, folks. It's a homogeneous area. And let's zoom in on North Carolina for once. We're having some lovely, warm, early fall temperatures here in Pennsylvania. Must be from global warming, so please get rid of your SUV, and make sure you get rid of your SUV today, folks. You know, since we saw frost in the summer this year, it's very scary and spooky that the planet's so warm that it's cold. Anyway, expect that scenario to be slowly moving out to sea there, as there's a lot of massive air driving it to the east. And hey, Smash Team, thanks for tuning in. Maybe consider showing yourself, consider getting yourself a t-shirt. You know, we've got a t-shirt with the Smash Team on it. Did you know? Check it out. There's a Smash Team shirt in purple. And I'm not sure what my next pickup is, as I've got more things to order than I've designing all kinds of things. And yeah, that global incident map, that link that you put up there, I really like that site because of the way it displays things. But it's got some limitations, so that's why we always show the USGS site. I used to actually show that site, what is it? Global Incident. Yeah, globalincidentmap.com. That's a good site. Globalincidentmap.com. Highly recommend it. And thanks for leaving that link, Sir Giddy. Cheers. So yeah, pick yourself up a smAsho team shirt. You know, join the Smash team. Maybe, I don't know. You going hunting? Perhaps a blaze orange. In Pennsylvania, all you need is a hat. Maybe we'll produce some more stuff. Maybe I'll put out some more designs today. I'll certainly vanish. And I'll thank our viewers for flying American Smashways. And remind you to please keep your head and arms inside the Smash plane at all times, because we've got a bonus features. We're going to be looking at the sun, 48 hours worth of data from the SDO and 193 angstroms. We're going to be looking at the intensitygram. And we're going to be looking at the magnetogram in all of its colorized glory. And that does not look like a sunspot. And that does not look like a sunspot. Let's make sure. By the way, that is a recently refreshed. And I don't see any dark ombre. What say you? It's a sunspot-free sun, folks. There's the 193 angstroms view. We are out. We got to get this video uploaded onto YouTube after we get it downloaded from Twitch. Again, check out smAshomash.org. Check out the links. Consider supporting us. Become a Patreon. Order some merch. Check out the coronal hole there. It's massive, and it's connected with the North Pole coronal hole region. That's going to be sending some more high-speed solar wind this way, so don't be surprised when that happens. It's probably got about another day and a half to 2 days before it strikes, and it could be significant. In any case, thanks again for tuning in. May that solar wind be at your back.